Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 141 of the Rich Cheese Radio podcast. I'm your host, Brodinky. With me, as always, is my good friend, the one and only Mr. Schmidt. Schmidt, how have you been, my friend?
Been good, man. How are you doing?
Quite good. In your home for the horological hot tapes, taboo topics, and often unpopular watch opinions, I might add. Not bad. Running around like a madman, kind of hectic. Big week coming up. Yours truly turns the big 4-0, so that's weird and
No
strange, but
way.
also, I guess a milestone of sorts. Aside from that, I have vacation coming up, which I'm pretty stoked about. Don't get many of those with the three little ones running around, so that's going to be cool. They're staying home, so even better.
Okay. So you and the missus going off and doing your thing.
Yes, sir.
Is this in conjunction with the 4-0?
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
honor
Okay.
of. So
Yeah, I got you. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well,
so yes,
good,
so we're
man.
off to tropical paradise of sorts, and it's going to be a good time. Hopefully, I'm not
I
the most keen on flying, but hey, whatever.
I mean flying is flying, dude. I mean when you do it as often as I do, it's like it just is what it is. Like
Well, it's funny.
it's
I was about to say at this point I've gotten to the point where it is what it is.
yeah. It's like it's never great, it's never bad. It's just like consistent unless you decide to like drop out of the sky, but that's a story for another time. But anyway, good for you, man, and I'm excited for you and the big 4-0, and you and the missus getting some time away to go because it's super important. So question for you is like, is this the thing for your 4-0, or is like do you get like a watch? I think it's what probably the listeners want to know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not so sure about that. I haven't really put much thought into it, but also I don't know. I've kind of like made peace with my collection right now. I don't know why. I don't know how that makes sense at all. But I've just been like kind of content for the moment where I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
really know what else I would pick up. Obviously there's things you come across and you're like, ooh, that's nice, or ooh, I kind of feel that. But there's nothing that I've been like, man, I'm really starved for this. Like this is the
Yeah.
opportunity. I should really jump at this. And with kind of like strange and turbulent economic things going on, who the hell knows?
Yeah, for sure. For
Might
sure.
be a good
It,
time to get a watch, but it might also be a bad time to get a watch.
it's I have that same sentiment. Like there's nothing I'm overly pining after. Like if it happens, it happens. Like right
Right.
place, right time kind of situation. But it's like there's a lot of new stuff that's coming, but I feel like we're just kind of like, we've talked about this before, like just like in limbo a bit. But I feel like the entire industry at some point is gonna have to make some type of like big shift to really get people jazzed about
Yeah.
something.
Like I know you
Um,
saw the other day, one of my friend, I went to a good friend of mine's wedding, and one of my friends had picked up the new red Black Bay 58.
oh yeah, yeah,
And I was playing with it, and it's on the new Jubilee, and it's nice. It is. It's just like I just didn't didn't grab me. I didn't feel
yeah.
any emotional connection. I was like, this is cute, but like I
Well,
didn't.
and I have a buddy. He's a mutual friend of a friend. So like one of my best friends, like this is his mutual like work colleague.
Okay.
And many years ago, he got with me. He's like, "Hey, look, you're kind of like a watch guy. Like, tell me kind of what I want, and here's my price range, and it's between this watch and this watch." And it was like, I think it was like a two-tone Tudor like Aqua Racer, and then like the S&G Tudor Black Bay. And I was like, dude, like like there's no contest here. Like it's a very simple, clean answer of like
Yeah.
what I would recommend, and it's the S&G all the way. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, the money though. But I'm like, dude, you're a successful guy in your respective field. You make a lot of money. Is it what my advice is to you is like, if it means just working one more month to get the next watch you actually want, like then do that. Don't like settle for the watch that can give you kind of like what you want, but it's not exactly what you want, because then you'll regret it every single time.
Right.
And he reluctantly took my advice. And then I don't know, for the last like 8 years, this dude's been wearing that S&G like every single day. And he's
Nice.
like, dude, I've never taken it off. But then he like ran out. He's like, I had to get the Black Bay Burgundy. But I'm like, bro, like you're like 6'5" and you're like 220 pounds and you're built, like you work out, like your job
You're
requires
a
you to
middle
be like,
linebacker.
I'm like, I don't know if 39 was the move. You know what I mean? Like he's also coming from an S&G that's like 41, 42 millimeters. Like it's the old Black Bay style case. You know what I mean? Like So like that, I was like, and he's like, yeah, man, I secured the bag, and I was like, all right, man, good for you, but I'm like, I don't know if that was the move. That-
Yeah, dude, you might have been a chrono type of guy, get the
like,
Opaline
yeah, he could
chronograph
have
and
actually probably pulled off the Daytona. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
dude, that's
Like
what I'm
it would
saying.
look normal on him. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. I was like, oh man, I'm happy for you, but I'm also like, is it too small? But anyway, then that's a story for another time.
But yeah, so that's all been going on, and in the meantime, my two older guys have started wearing some of my Casios that have been kind of just chilling in the box for a while, and because
Ooh,
they're indestructible, I was like, yeah, go ahead, man, like do whatever you want.
go
So one,
nuts.
so one of them, the older guy's wearing the Jelly DW 5600.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's tight. It
Bold
looks
choice, bold
and like
choice.
yeah, and like the moms compliment him on it all the time. So like he thinks he's like a big shot. It's really funny because like, oh, that's so cool. It looks like so retro. Because I think they're thinking about like swatches, like when they were
Yeah,
younger,
yeah.
But they're like, oh, that's like so retro. I love that. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. And it's got the
He's like trying to downplay it. He's
yeah.
like,
Well,
it's
and
cool.
it's also it's reverse. So the background on it is black and the numbers are white, which is
Oh,
kind of
okay,
neat. And
okay,
then when he
okay,
hits the
yeah,
button, it glows green. Like it's just like,
yeah,
it's got a little bit of novelty to it. And then my middle guy is wearing the F91, and I put it on a like when you buy a Barton, they give you the two sizes. I put it on the
yeah.
short for him, so like there's not a lot of overhang because he's only 4, but he wears it on that, and like it's a tiny enough watch that he can pull it off, and he thinks he's cool too because I showed them a video of like G-Shock stress test
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
people just beating the piss out of them,
Yeah.
throwing them in boiling water,
Yeah.
hitting them with
Dude,
kettlebells.
I will never forget the advertisement. They're like, we have a G-Shock and it's encapsulated in this solid block of ice. And they would like rotate it. It's like hanging out all frozen. And you
So
see it still ticking.
so
Like
yeah,
that.
so they're like, so every once in a while they'll be like, hey, let's watch another one of those videos. So like we do, and they just like crack up because like who would do this? But then they're like, oh, it still works, and I'm like, yeah. So there you go. That's why you're allowed to wear them.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny you mentioned the F91. I was at my brother's house a week ago and we were there. I took my girls just to like hang out. It's been a while since I saw my brother and the girls got together to hang out with their cousins and everything. So I was over there and I walked in and I looked at it and I was like, wait, are you wearing a Casio World Timer? He goes,
A
yeah, man. And I was like, I just
classic.
picked it up. I'm like, what? So random. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I need to get the bracelet size. Like, he's like, I don't know. I just wanted something to kind of like fart around in. I'm like, okay, all right. I feel you. It was just like so unexpected because I've never owned an F91. Like I've never owned it. I've had a Casio calculator watch like back in the day when I was in college, but I never owned the World Timer. But it was just funny to see like because my brother's like you know me, you know my build and everything like that. My brother's like legitimately a much bigger person than me.
Really?
Like
Wow.
he's legit like 6'3", 6'4". Like he's a big guy. And it was just funny to see him wearing this little tiny Casio world timer. I'm like, all right, dude, like I like the move. It's bold. It's a good choice. So does anybody make straps for those?
I'm sure somebody does, but I'm not gonna lie, the Barton looks good on it.
Yeah,
The
because
silicone
they
elite.
have to be notched, right?
I don't know about that. I mean, the one I have is just a regular quick release. Maybe for the world timer, but definitely not the F91 I have. The Barton fits on it perfect.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I'll have to double check to see if there's. Well, I guess the F91 is different, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
world
But I'm saying
timer.
the world timer might need the notch, but
Yeah.
if so, I bet somebody makes one for it.
Okay. Yeah. Looks like there's maybe some options.
But anyway, yeah, continuing continuing to give back to the hobby. That's what it is.
I mean, I just think that's kind of what's fun right now is like just like buying something that just kind of pseudo scratch the itch and just keep it kind of going. Like when Swatch came out with those new, was it the new Scuba Aquas or whatever that they came out with? Like they were kind of like models like the jellyfish and stuff.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if you saw them, but like crazy cool, like translucent cases and everything like that for this like diver collection that they came back out with, right? And we didn't cover it on the podcast because we were kind of like in between when all this was going down, but just really, really cool. And I'm like, why not just buy one? I haven't done it yet, but I'm probably going to because like why not? It's just fun. It's cool. It's not serious. It's not a whole lot of money. I just want something to keep the kind of the itch scratched a bit until I make a strategic move to something big, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, that's cool. I have a whole bunch of really good Men Wear Pink news. I know everybody's probably been waiting to hear about that, considering I haven't talked about it at all. But so far, we have a great start to the year because anything that sold after December 31st, we've kind of just been rolling over to the next year. And so far, we've got about 5Gs in the till already. So that's great. And that's just from
Wow. All
straps
right.
from last year and stuff. I guess, people were kind of just late to the party, which
Yeah.
is fine. We're obviously going to be doing a strap for this year. I've secured a watch for this year, that one that we're going to be talking about later, which is pretty awesome. And on top of that, we are going to have a limited run of 200 watches with somebody who puts out a watch. And we kind of worked with them and designed it, and they produced it for us. And so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be cool. It's very personalized and it's going to be really neat. So very, very stoked about all of that. A little bit of a different campaign, but I think we're going to set a record this year. So that's great.
I love it, dude. I cannot wait to see the final renderings of what you and this respective entity have come up with because I know it's going to be amazing. But it's going to be cool. I'm very excited. It's
For
going to be fun to
sure,
see.
for sure, and we'll cover it when it's official and it's live. And I listen. I have no expectations. I think they're going to sell out real quick, but I also know that I've kind of heard stories around the way of just like collaborations and stuff before that sometimes just don't take off. So I'm not going to count my chickens yet, but I think
Yeah.
this is going to be pretty tight and it's a pretty good price point and everything. So
Yeah,
um,
and I think that's the most important thing. It's like the price point is fair. It's going to a good cause. It's something that people can get excited about. Like, why not? Makes sense.
right,
Um,
it's not a $1,400 micro brand that's like over the top with all the bells and whistles. Listen, it's gonna be a little bit bare bones, but it's gonna be a crowd pleaser for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. And it's going to a good cause. I mean, that's I think ultimately the most important thing. Like, I have a buddy, colleague of mine, and he's been listening to the show off and on throughout the years that we've been doing it. And he's like, I'm just so moved that like this is a thing. I was like, I mean, I can't really take any credit for because like this was like your thing. It always has been your thing. I'm just like here to support it. But like just the fact that like people care enough to do it is something that I've always found like so humbling because it's just like, wow, like that's pretty awesome, you know?
Yeah, and
And
it's
he's like,
always it,
that's cool.
it's always funny to kind of share like with the people who are like the non-watch people involved in this,
Yeah.
where they're like, I'm like, yeah, we've raised a good amount of money over the years. I go, but what's even crazier is like, I don't know if we'll take 100% credit, but like we definitely helped make pink trendy in
Oh,
watches.
dude, no, there's I mean, I can say we could probably take credit for it.
You know what I mean?
Like
Like there's
100% I can think that we can take credit for
I'm
that.
not gonna say there were no pink watches before that,
No,
but
there was definitely pink watches before that because we were promoting those pink watches because they were cool and kind of in line with the ethos of what you were trying to do here with men wear pink, right?
yeah,
But then all of a sudden all these brands started creating pink dials and specifically marketing them to men,
right.
which
Yes,
was different.
that was a big turn
Okay.
also. Yeah,
That was the change because before anything that was pink was typically reserved for ladies' pieces for obvious reasons. Because even then, you had brands like Zenith and like all these other stuff, creating collaboration watches for, breast cancer and things like that. And that was kind of promoted on a more, grand scale, if you will. But who was the first one to do that? It was definitely you. So I will give credit where credit is due because I know what you did to make that happen, and whether you will officially get credit or not is irrelevant.
yeah. Well, I
Because
know you have enough eyes and ears around
I,
around the industry to be able to speak a little
yeah,
better than I do on it, and I never like to get ahead of myself and stuff like that, but like I'll definitely say it's taken off since we started doing this, which is
yeah,
pretty damn cool. You know what I
it
mean?
is cool, man. I mean, when I'm old and dusty and gray, I can look back 30 years ago and be like, yeah, we made pink watches cool. People
Right,
were
that's what
rocking
I'm
pink
saying,
watches. You know
and
what I mean?
that's
Like,
why it was funny, when I would get like a write up in like a publication or something, people would be like, "Yo, so what do you want to be referred to as?" And I was like, "You can use my real name," and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "One day I want to be able to show my kids, my grandkids, be like, look, like look at what we did, like."
yeah.
from an iPhone. This is what was built. You know what I mean? Like
From the
that's
iPhone.
the
Yeah, yeah,
craziest
yeah.
thing. I got an iPhone. I had an. I think it's. I God. I mean, listen. I'm not the type to get the same new one every year. I've probably owned four different models in my whole iPhone life, but it
Yeah.
definitely wasn't the 3GS. But it was probably like the six is what I was started building it on. So like, just crazy. Like a jerk with an iPhone. Built like a satirical media empire.
I love it. I mean, I
So
love it. I mean,
that's
it's true
fun.
though. It's just
Yeah.
fun.
Like I have the pictures and stuff and things like that. So I'm like, one day I can break it out and be like, yeah, check this out, right? What are your friends' parents done?
Yeah. Your dad was kind of big in the mid 2020s, you
That's
know?
what I'm saying. Yeah, I was a pandemic champion.
I love it. I
I
love
kept
it.
people entertained. All right.
Hey, we needed laughs during COVID, so
We
I'm
sure
glad we're
did.
here.
We sure did. I'll say that much. All right. Yeah. So we got a fair amount of watches on the docket here.
Yeah.
So I guess we can roll these and we'll get into a little more as we go. So first off, the first one is not even an official watch yet. So we ran across these. We thought these were a line of watches. Turns out it's a vote for a line of watches. Seiko is taking the democratic stance here and allowing us to pick which one of these models will be produced. It's sort of the 1965 diver reedition, but
Mhm.
it's got a very heavy wave pattern. It's not one uniform wave pattern throughout, which I like. Like you have some thicker and some thinner, so that's kind of neat. It adds a little bit of texture to it. But they're giving us a few different colors. So there's like a golden dial, a turquoise, a green, and a very vibrant red. And basically, we get to vote which one of these is going to be produced in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know. None of these are particularly my favorite. They just came out with a pad eye version that is green that I think looks better than all these. I think it's the SPB 501. 501. Yeah, I was looking at it the other night and I was like, this is pretty deep, pretty neat. But these are okay. Again, I really like the way pattern, the way they executed that. I don't know. I don't know if we need these personally, but
I mean, it's one of those things that when I'm looking at, the grand scale of everything that's available right now, like, is it super necessary? Probably not.
all right. And again,
But
they're like 14, 1600 bucks, whatever it is. Like it's not that it's a
yeah.
hard sell, but it's a little bit of a hard sell.
Yeah, and again, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make things available and so people can get excited about it and all that stuff, and which is fine. Let them do that. That's okay. But again, it's just one of those things. It's like, we really don't need any more of these watches, but we have them, so you're gonna do what you're gonna do, you know. But it's cool. I think the designs are interesting. Somebody will like them, somebody will consume them and buy them. So
I'm sure. I'm sure.
there you go. That's my take.
All right. Volcane has two LE skin diver chronographs dropping this month, actually. I believe on the 3rd it started. You have one with a meteorite dial. Again, we're seeing the meteorite trend just blossom and flourish, and you're going to see
Yeah.
that even more in this episode, but it's fully underway now. And also I thought it was more of a copper dial. This is literally called the Skin Diver Chronograph Salmon. So I guess they're leaning into the salmon aspect. It does
Yeah.
kind of look like it says Sauron, which is kind of funny. I kind of laughed the Lord of the Rings chuckle there, but
Salmon. Yeah.
Salmon. So
Yeah.
that's what they're going with. I guess fair play, whatever. I think the meteorite looks really good
It
personally.
they're I mean, both watches are very handsome. I
They
mean,
are.
we've talked about the chrono divers from them for a while because they've had a few executions over them over the years since they started becoming kind of a resurrected zombie brand and kind of more in line with what they're doing now. But I think these are probably the two best looking ones, specifically that Meteorite Panda. I mean, like that is a very good looking watch. It's probably not the most, functional diving timepiece. You know what I'm saying? That screams
True.
legibility
True.
like a slice of a siderite meteorite kind of
A little
reflecting back at
Windman
you.
Staten.
Little Vinman pattern going on, exactly. But I mean, outside of that, because let's be honest, nobody's gonna be wearing this watch diving.
Hell no.
It's just a sexy watch. I'm sorry. It's a very sexy piece. I think it looks great. And the fact that it's, mechanical chrono, automatic, good proportions too. I mean, 39.7 case. Thickness is 13 for a
I
chrono.
did see that. 13 is
I
impressive.
mean, that's I mean, let's be honest.
For a diver chronograph?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, that's, it's a 7753 base, which is crazy because most people would opt for a 7750, but typically those are huge, thick, and I've never seen one really smashed into a 13 mil case. So kudos to them for making this watch because I think it's very wearable. Those specs, like, that's pretty doable for a chrono in general, but certainly a chrono with diving capability. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before. I have no idea what this bracelet is called. It's interesting. I can't tell if it's super comfortable because the links are so gigantic, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much it articulates, but it's definitely neat. Kind of reminds me of like the underside of a bug.
What do you mean?
Like you ever seen like the belly of like an insect that's got like all like those stripes?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's almost like their plate armor, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. I know
So
what you're talking
the
about. Yeah,
segmentation, we'll call it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So it kind of gives you like a scorpion's tail look to it,
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
but it's a neat bracelet. I have no idea what it's called, but it's definitely. I'm assuming this is one of their heritage revival type stylistic choices, but
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of their, or basically all of their sports models have this bracelet style.
right, yeah. So interesting enough, I would say. But yeah, the meteorite is a little more expensive. It's right above 3 grand, and then the salmon is at 2,800. So
Rightfully so, though. I mean, it's, but beautiful, beautiful.
that's right. All right. I guess we'll stick with the meteorite because Casio, we'll bring it back to them, is making automatic. Oh, sorry, this is a meteorite. This is forged carbon. Looks like meteorite. Uh,
Yeah.
so Casio is making automatic edifices now. I guess this is like their next evolution, right? Because I mean, they're known for kind of what we were talking about before, and I guess this is their next foray. Let's see, 43.5 by 39.
The
Not
specs are the specs are relative, but I mean, keep in mind they're going to be slightly skewed because it's an integrated
right. It's integrated.
bracelet case.
It's got a neat little H-link situation going on.
So
Um,
it looks cool, but the thing that I found was so wild is, like, Casio makes all their own movements and everything like that
yeah,
on the court side, but this is a Seiko NH35. So it's kind of funny that they took like their direct competition's movement and put inside their own watch. So some people are kind of roasting the fact that that's the case.
interesting.
But I mean, who else do you partner with to create a very inexpensive automatic caliber that you could throw into a watch right now?
Right. Well, also hear me out. Casio is Japanese, yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, in the world of uncertain trade agreements,
it
tariffs, all
makes
that other
total
stuff,
sense to
you
do
have a
it
domestic
domestically.
product.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't really blame them for it.
No, no. To me, it makes complete sense. But I know the internet's going to internet, so
Oh,
they're
it
gonna
always does. Yeah.
they're gonna decide what they think is best and or not. And in this case, one of the biggest criticisms was like, oh, it's kind of weird that Casio, which is a competitor to Seiko, is using a Seiko movement in their new extension line of automatics. And I was like, is it though? Like, I don't think
Listen,
it's that
Seiko gets
crazy.
to sell the movements. Casio gets a good, reliable movement for an inexpensive watch. Everybody wins.
100%. And let's be honest, is like the NA35 is damn near bulletproof. Like, what are we pretending here? Like, it's
I mean, it
not
wasn't
somehow a
that much
reliable strap?
different. It wasn't that much different than when people were using ETA movements, right? Like,
Yes. And everyone just wants to pretend like that never happened. It totally happened. Like, your
yeah,
Tag Heuer from the 2000s had the same base caliber as my Hamilton khaki.
yeah. If it wasn't for
Like,
for the clamp down, they would still be using.
oh, for sure. Because there would be no incentive to not use it.
I'll
The
I'll
the
say
the
this much
industry
though.
changed it.
When I first saw this I saw a side, kind of like a half side profile of this, like the original shot I saw. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's slightly tilted to the side. Squinting my eyes, I honestly thought this was a Zin because of the H link and sort of just the different
Oh,
finishing and
gotcha,
stuff. Like I
gotcha,
thought this
gotcha.
was I thought it was a meteorite dial Zin that was coming out, and I was like a 556 or something, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, oh wait, that's a Casio Edifice.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
guess
and
kudos to them on that.
dude, I mean, look, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. I think the styling is good. Like, now for me, I'm not like a big integrated bracelet watch guy in a sport watch. Like, I can kind of go with it with like a dress piece.
Hmm.
But to me, like that's my only criticism, but that's not even a real criticism. It has nothing against the design. It's just like for me, that's just a personal preference. But the watch itself looks great. Now, I think, and this is just me speaking out loud, if I could give one more criticism, you got to come up with a different logo for the edifice. If you're going to keep that vernacular,
I'm
if
gonna
you're
be
going to
honest. If I was gonna put out an automatic, I probably would have got went away from Edifice.
that's my point. Like I would just delete edifice, just call it Casio. You can put edifice on the rotor or whatever, but like I don't need to see it on the dial because I immediately connect it to all of your previous like edifice quartz chronos and quartz sports watches and things like that. Like I don't need to know the subfamily of what you're classifying this piece to be. I just need to know it's made by the brand. That and you know this. This is my consistent
And
criticism with a
realistically,
lot of people.
they should have put their rendition of a like a Cadillac stamp on this. You know what I mean? Like this is your like, piece de resistance. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I can see from a business standpoint why they wouldn't do that, right? Like this is your first foray into a mechanical watch. You have no idea if it's going to be a success or a commercial failure, right? So someone was like, "Oh, why would they also use a Seiko movement?" It's like, because if it doesn't work, why would I go
they
through
didn't put
the
all the R
millions
and
of
D in,
dollars? Yeah, the millions of dollars to do an R&D to develop an in-house caliber when I really don't really do that at all.
especially when you can always move to an in-house if need be.
Exactly. So they're like, well, what if they want to scale it? Then if it's successful, then they're going to scale it for sure. And then from there, maybe there's justification to say, okay, well, let's put some R&D behind it. Let's develop an in-house caliber over the next 5 years. Let's roll this out into this. Like, what price? When are we going to move the edifice collection into? Like, there's a logistic business move here that would justify this only if it sells well. And right now, I believe it's only JDM is what I've understood is at least the initial releases are JDM for maybe a certain period of time, and then they're
Okay.
supposed to come over to the US. But most of what I understand is like these are not available at any Casio dealer in the US currently. Now you can buy them on Chrono and eBay and things like that, but I think they were first released in Japan, slow rolled into global release everywhere else. But I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, it's just a great everyday watch. Like this is a perfect like high school student, perfect like
Yeah,
you
gift
know
for
gift
a non-watch
if
person.
yeah. I mean, we say that a lot, but I mean, like, how much does this watch really cost? Like, what's the price on this? Do we know?
I thought I had it up before.
Because I can't imagine it's that much.
Let's see. I thought I saw it was really cheap, but I could be wrong.
I mean, it's gotta be.
Depending on what model, it looks like it's 299 euro. Yeah, I think the carbon is 299. EFK 100 CD.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So yeah, this places the Casio Edifice Automatic in the same
Yeah, 299
category.
for the carbon.
Yeah, Carbon Dial is a bit more expensive, $300 US, or I'm assuming $450 US. Like amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the crazy thing is, man, if you're looking at this, like, what other automatic watches are in that price point? Like a Swatch Blancpain,
Used ones. That's it.
used watches, or something like a Swatch
Yeah,
with the System 51 movement, right?
right.
I always was so mad they didn't call it the 51 fathoms, but whatever, System 51 fathoms. But
Yeah,
that's
what are you gonna do?
I'm not smart enough to be a marketing guru. Anyway, but like that's what it is. But this is an NH35, which is serviceable. You can't service a System 51.
That's right.
Now, the System 51s are not serviceable because they were never intended to be serviceable because they are completely hermetically sealed from the factory. So that's kind of the trade-off there. There's really nothing that could affect their performance except for prolonged long-term wear. But let's be honest, which guy's buying their Swatch Blancpain collaboration to be like their daily, every single day watch forever?
Yeah,
Not typically the move.
yeah.
But this is cool because it's accessible, a couple $100, and you have a serviceable NH35 movement. I mean, if it completely craps the bed, you can buy a $50 Invicta with the same movement and drop it in there. You know what I
That's
mean?
pretty funny.
It is what it is. So I think it's a cool move. I think it's exciting to see what Casio is going to do. I think by tweaking certain design elements and kind of redefining what this next evolution could be, I think it could be a very handsome choice for people to get into mechanical watches that look great at a very, very good price point. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I guess along the same lines as what we were just talking about, since we're talking about kind of sexy dials and accessibility, Bulova put one out for the ladies called the Goddess of Time collection. And if you
Hmm.
haven't seen them, this is basically for us common folk who are priced out of King Midas territory, but would still like the look of such, if that's your thing. So they have sort of that barrel shaped case. They've got stone dials. You're looking at malachite. You're looking at tiger's eye and sodalite, which I'm not familiar with, but looks pretty darn badass. It's like a blue, black, kind of
Yeah.
gray.
Almost like lapis
I thought it was
coloration, right?
lapis at first, and I saw it wasn't. But
It's still
um,
pretty. Like objectively, these watches are pretty.
yeah, the
Like I
malachite is on a gold tone. The tiger's eye looks like it's on a rose, and then the sodalite is on a silver color. And they're all very, very good looking. I would definitely at 450, $495. That's like a home run gift for the lady in your life. You know what I mean? Like they look really good. It's a watch that if people knew I was a watch bro and they were looking at my significant other's wrist and they saw this, I would not be ashamed in the least bit of being like, yeah,
no, it's
that's the heat.
cool.
So
It's cool. I mean, and the photos that they have on the Bulova website, kind of advertising it. There's like this lady, and she's like what looks like a blue mink kind of coat, and she's wearing the Sodalite version. Like that's exactly the vibe. It's this like, it's what the young kids call like, old money, right? Like
yeah.
it's a very like it's giving old money, right? Like that's just it's very classic. It looks cool. It's very, very, very 1970s. Like you said, right out of that King Midas era. And let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of us that can get our hands on those pieces, especially, and feel safe wearing them. I think this is very cool. It's sporty, it's chic, but it's crazy that they're like, hey, like the integrated woven mesh bracelet dress watch is
Yeah.
coming back. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the hell is going on? If you'd asked me this 5 years ago, if I ever thought that would be a trend, I'd be like, you're insane. Like, we are not going back to that world. And yet here we are.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how and it's always funny. Like when I was working in the store many years ago, I would see people bring these watches in and they'd be like, dude, this is like my favorite watch. Like this was the fire. And I would always think is like, how?
You're like,
It looks,
when?
it looks terrible. Like this was like this crusty ebel was like the move in the 90s, like how did these things become so popular? And now I get it. Now I get it because it's all about right timing, it's all about
Yep.
marketing, it's
That's
all about
100%
brand
right.
push, it's all about influence culture. Those things make it viable for these people to like things and they end up getting them. And I'm like I could see a bunch of like 20-year-old girls rocking this type of boulevard
Well,
because of
especially now
that.
that like Rihanna wears this type of stuff. So,
Yeah, I mean, and I know you've seen this too. Like right now, there's that trend with like the mini APs, like the super small, petite, like
oh
30
yeah.
millimeter APs, but they're wearing like all three of them in the three different golds, like stacked together. Have you seen this?
No, it sounds like you just really want to get mugged.
I mean, I'll see if I can find a photo of it for you. It's like the mini AP Royal Oak, but like the trend is like trying to wear them like side by side by side,
Stacked.
stacked. Because the people are treating it not as a watch, they're treating it as
It's a
jewelry.
bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah, as a bracelet. Exactly. Which I was like, dude, that's flex work right now. Like, you know
That
what
was
I
like that dude
mean?
who had he wore the Royal Oak as like a scrunchie. He had like dreads
Yeah.
and he
Yeah. And he
packed
like
them
used
back.
it to like tie his hair back. I'm like,
I was like, bro,
what?
I'm coming after you with a buzzer and calling it a day.
Yeah. But like that's crazy, right? But that's like a move now.
Yeah, but you could get all three of these for a whopping like $1,500 and call it a day.
Yeah, and had the same look.
Yep.
for quite
Yeah.
literally a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the
Yeah,
price.
that'd be pimp. I mean, these you could probably really get away with it. They're only 17 millimeters, so
And you know what's crazy? And I'm gonna go on a limb and say this, and I never thought I would say this, is I think too these brands know that like there's guys rocking this size now, which is insane. Have you seen this?
I haven't. But I mean, listen, the lines have been
Everything's been so
ever
skewed,
blurred, so
but like there's now
I'll buy anything.
there's guys that are now rocking very, very small Cartiers, minis, like specifically watches that were worn by women before back in the day historically, that size they're rocking. So it wasn't even just about like rocking like a small men's watch anymore. It's now like men are rocking ladies' cocktail watch sizes,
This was
which
like
is
when the men started
crazy.
wearing the chicks' jeans in like the 2000.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but like, at least jeans have a certain way where they don't feel, you know, they can still look like guys' jeans from a distance.
I suppose. But these were like there was a lot of like band kids.
Yeah, like these are like the emo
Yeah,
kids and like the scene kids that were wearing like skin tight like girl jeans that they bought like Hollister or like whatever, and they were like painted on their body. Like I know what
yeah.
you're
I was
talking about. I
like,
know what you're talking about. But you know they're still jeans. Like it doesn't they from a distance like nobody's really going to care.
right.
But like for me, I'm looking at this and like guys are rocking like a 28 millimeter watch. It's like all right now in fashion and all on the red carpet. I'm like, that's a bold move. Never in my life did I think like the 27 was the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, man, like Omega released their 30 millimeter Aquaterras not that long ago, and there was guys like rocking them on red carpet, but it's a 30 millimeter watch. I was like, whoa, that is all kinds of different.
Yeah. I don't know if it's something I would do, but hey.
I mean, it's not my style at all, but like guys are doing it, like especially like tanks, like really small, like what would have been like ladies' tanks. Like there's dudes in New York City rocking around like in the hype watch culture, like rocking like mini lady tanks.
It's just weird to me that everybody deemed 36 too small, and then all of a sudden we have that.
Yeah. And that's what I said, and what I've kind of, stood on my soapbox saying for a long time. Like just wear whatever the hell you want to. Like nobody's gonna care. It doesn't matter. Like it is what it is. And just do what you want to do. But like there are dudes that are wearing very, very small pieces.
Well, they did it in the 1920s, so hey, here we are.
Yeah. Just never thought we'd be here. Yeah, I'll send you this article. It's like it's it's wild work, dude. It's wild work. I put it in the chat. Everyone's like, but I want to be in the chat. Like, well, you're not in the chat. Sorry.
Now, the funniest thing is when people find out we have a group chat with people and they're like, dude, I got to get in this. And I'm like,
No, you don't.
no,
You
you
don't want to
don't.
be in this.
You don't.
We don't rat out the boys in the group chat,
No,
right?
that's right. It's all right. Moving on, we're gonna go with Batavi. I think, or sorry, Batavi. That's what we agreed on.
Batavi. Yeah,
Batavi, we're
Batavi.
gonna go with because who knows how to say this? But they make they make these chronographs and they put out a bunch of different renditions, all different colors. You have sort of a cotton candy motif. You have some black with like Easter colored subdials, all different spectrum of looks here. All kind of neat. They're kind of decent looking, pretty cool. You got Arabic dial, not Arabic like our number system, like the actual Arabic dial, but pretty cool. I don't know a ton about them. I think we've talked about them one other time on the show before, but
Yeah, yeah,
they're kind of neat. I guess
yeah. I
it's in
mean,
honor of
it's
summer in the northern hemisphere. This is
yeah.
the
I mean, it's
Marina Chronograph collection.
yeah. We talked about their GMT last. No, it was a World Timer last year that they came
Right.
out with.
World Timer, correct.
They're based out of Amsterdam, and they're kind of following this unique, funky, like you know, serious design but playful execution. Similar to like a Ferrer or like a Nomos or something like
I could
that,
see
right?
that. Yep.
But these chronos look very, very good looking. Like my favorite is the kind of like one you mentioned, this cotton candy ish, and they're all kind of inspired by like yachting graph timers, like
Right.
regatta watches, which is a cool vibe that's just not really prevalent outside of, in the industry from really micro brands, right? Like you can do like a Hoyer Skipper, or you can do some other, what's the other brand that does a yachting graph? That's literally the name for it. It's the, oh gosh, they're out of like Italy. They do Marina Militare watches as well. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought you were talking about like
They have the watch
Yama, but
called
it's
this.
not Yama.
Yeah, yeah, it's Yema. It's
Is it?
Yema.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Because they have a watch called the Yachting Graph, don't they?
I think they do.
Yeah, 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 Yema. Okay, that's the one. That's what I was talking about. I feel like I'm going crazy. Yeah, so Yema did a yachting graph, and they just recently released one too with Second because he's everywhere.
Yeah.
But regardless, I digress. There's not a lot of cool yachting graph watch design that's available, right? Especially not from a inexpensive perspective. So it's
Right.
kind of cool to see this, worked its way in.
And these are
You know,
649 euro.
yeah. So we're probably talking around what, $700,
Yeah.
$750 US,
But
something like that.
38 case, 13.5 thick is nice. Seagull ST 1901. Not everybody's favorite movement, but hey,
But it works, and it's decently reliable.
and it's based off of
And
Venus.
yeah, and yeah, it's based off of a Swiss movement from the 60s, so 50s and 60s. So like what do you want? But a cool design. And I think, it's interesting. Now, the only thing that I thought was funny, and I was mentioning this to you before we started recording, is what's interesting is Batavi is basically said, hey, look, we're launching this watch, but we're the first micro brand to launch a watch with a signature fragrance to coincide with that timepiece.
It's an interesting move.
It's an interesting move. I don't know of anybody that's done it. They're claiming that they are the first, but hey man, maybe if you want to look good, you should also smell good, I guess, is kind of the way it goes. But I've never really thought about watches and thought about fragrance in
Does
the
the
same
does the
mindset.
fragrance have the same name?
I think it is based on,
Is it
well,
like
it says,
Marina or is it?
yeah, it says Marina on the little box, but I don't know if each one is tailored based on the color. I think it's maybe just all Marina. Let me double check. Yeah, it looks like they all say Marina. So probably the first microbrand to pair a watch with a dedicated scent. Say hello to Batavi Marina de Parfum.
Yeah, well, that's why I always laugh when we're like Batavi, Batavi, Batavi. So like, because I mean, this sort of changes things when you think about like your perception of things when a name is kind of accented funny. So back in the day, a couple of buddies and me were in the mall. They're talking about fragrances and they're like, oh yeah, let's go check this out. And I can't remember who put out the fragrance, but it was called, and I don't even know if this was the actual pronunciation, but they're like, oh yeah, oh Voyage, that sounds great. It sounds like very eclectic and stuff like that. Yeah, but I was like, I don't see an accent. What if it's just Voyage? And they're like, ugh.
Doesn't
Now
have
that
the
you
same
mention it, that's terrible. And I'm like, yeah,
doesn't have the
all that
same
we changed was the inflection.
connotation.
And look what the hell happened. So that's why I'm like, Batavi, Batavi. I was like, I don't want to get this wrong because hey, this could be the death of them. So,
Well,
but
let's hope not. All their watches seem like they're out of stock, so maybe they're selling them.
all right. So clearly
Um,
they're doing okay.
yeah, somebody from Amsterdam or somebody globally is buying these watches. That's good. That's good. But yeah, it was just funny, like when you mentioned that, because I also think of like the Christmas story, like fragile.
Yeah, Fragile must be Italian.
Fragile. It must be Italian or must be French or whatever he says. But it's just funny because it's just fragile. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But no, cool watches. I think they're fun. I probably will never see one in the metal, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Another watch that's pretty cool. Mito put out a world timer version of the Ocean Star inspired by the 1970s. And this is very 70s. It's got a sort of a red, white, and black checkerboard pattern almost situation around the outer chapter ring there. And, black bezel with cities on it. But it's just a very handsome watch. Black strap, red stitching in their Ocean Star format, which I'm a fan of. I think it's a neat watch.
Yeah.
But I just think this one looks especially good. I think they sort of hit the vintage sweet spot. You can, for old time's sake, get this on a Bund strap, which is always good for a laugh at the local meetup. But hey, To each their own.
It's very
Uh,
Jason Heaton of you.
it is. But yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's a 40.5 mil case, 13 thick, and Mito caliber 80, which I'm sure kind of translates across the brands there. But you're getting an 80-hour power reserve, and you know, it's just a neat watch, not limited edition or anything. So I believe it's around $1,000.
Yeah, it's like at like 1,050 or something US.
So by today's standards, it's not horrible.
No, no. I mean, it's just fun. I think this is a very fun watch. I'm sure there's probably not a lot of people running out to grab this colorway, but it's very 70s. It just reminds me of like the casino,
Yeah,
like a
roulette.
roulette table, exactly, right? Which is cool. It's kind of fun. I just think of like Ocean's 11 or whatever, like that whole vibe, right? Cool. I love the vintage logo. I love the vintage handset. I've always liked the vintage Ocean Star Tribute collection from Mito. I will probably pick one up at some point because they're just so relatively inexpensive and just fun. And like you said, the movement's great. I mean, this is a Powermatic 80 version of the movement, but it's also been upgraded with the Swatch Group's Nevacron hairspring.
Oh, very
So
nice.
this is a titanium-based alloy spring. It's also anti-magnetic. So it's not just like, not for nothing. It's not like a slouch of a watch. There's also some like technical chops inside of it too, even for the price point. So I think it's cool. Mito is sometimes kind of hard to find in the US is kind of I think the biggest issue, but overall I think their watches are very fairly priced. The technology is usually pretty good, and it's cool. I think it's fun. So that's me.
Yeah, with you. With you. I guess while we were on the topic of Royal Oaks, if you're into that, Nevada just dropped the Mark II of the F-77, and they're really expanding this line. And I guess I can't really fault them because this is sort of a coveted design language that people are still after and still very successful. They
Hmm.
have a very sweet looking meteorite dial. And also, I've seen a gold tone with a black dial. It's nice, a little dressy, a little flashy for my
Hmm.
taste. But for me, the meteorite is really really good looking. And I guess the difference for the Mark II is mainly a handset. But
I think it's mostly the handset, but I think also the integration of the bracelet
oh, I
looks
have
like it's
seen that little
slightly
extra. Yeah,
different. So, because I think kind of the original F-77s, the articulation of the end link was a little bit wonky. It just production and prototyping and things like that. I think that with the Mark II, they may have redesigned the
I think you're right
articulation.
about that.
It just looks like it drops down more naturally than kind of like out and down.
Yeah,
But I mean, what are you gonna do with an integrated, sports watch bracelet? Now, here's the other thing too, man. They offer a new strap now. I don't know if you saw this on the website. They have a Velcro canvas strap that's like quick change
oh,
that you
interesting.
can now drop out from the bracelet, and it's a perfect fit for the F-77 case, which is like kind of sick.
Yeah, that's
So
nice. You could dress this down a little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks cool. I saw it. hmm, I saw it the other day preparing for the podcast, and I'm like, that's pretty slick. And they have so many variations of this collection now, which is so good. We talked about this off air. Like there was even more models that were added outside of like what we even thought was added.
Right.
So,
You said there
we
was a ceramic, yeah?
full ceramic case and bracelet. There's also titaniums, which I didn't know. Like learning that right now as we're talking,
Yeah.
because I know we had like the steel, like with lapis style. We had the aventurine, but they also added those variations in titanium as well. So that's, I mean, for $1,300 for a full titanium integrated sports watch,
Could do worse.
I mean, that's like it. I, do you need another watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of it's kind of crazy. Like 37 mil. Cool vintage styling, integrated bracelet, but full titanium at $1,500. Sign me up, dude. Like that is crazy. So, but they're always priced so well. Like that's the one thing that I think I love the most about this brand is that they continually deliver heat, but they're doing it at a price point that is exciting for people to want to buy.
Yeah, and they're not just like partnering with Moser and putting out a watch that's like $60,000.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
I know, I know. And I mean, it's true. We already talked about that before, but I mean, yeah, it's like I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's funny. I have a buddy that's like, yeah, I want to get like a new Pilot watch, but he's like, I really want to spend like $1,000. I'm like, well, if you spend a little bit more, you can get you a nice Nevada Grenshin. Chronomaster Diver looks pretty sick.
Yeah, it is sweet. Alrighty. Benris puts out the Type 1 M1 take on the legendary Type 1 mil spec. This comes in at 41.5 mils, 13.7 thick, and ETA movement. Hey, there we go. Talking about ETA before. But
Let's
yeah,
go. It's almost a rarity these days.
yep. 200-meter diver, double dome sapphire, all the good stuff, anti reflective. Kind of your typical Benris look, but you got a black bezel with sort of gold accents and then a khaki NATO.
Hmm.
Not bad looking. It's kind of a tan copper dial.
Yeah, I mean, I like the colorway.
It's okay. It's
Like,
subdued, but it's not bad.
yeah, it's not the best. It's not the worst. I don't like the logo at all. I think it's huge.
It is large.
I think the Benris logo on this particular watch is oversized, and maybe that's just because I'm used to looking at the Type One without a logo, you know,
Yeah, that could
because it
be
was
it. I could see
it
that.
because it was a sterile dial. Typically the military version was just sterile dial, but I think had they shrunk the font of Benris and made it less of a Benris, and especially because like in all bold, it just seems like very overbalanced in terms of the thickness
I see that.
relative to the rest of the watch. That's honestly my only criticism for the piece. I think it's really cool. It's kind of like the sandy khaki, military style look to it. That was kind of a bold choice in color, just because like I find like if you were gonna do like a military, maybe like a gray or like a green, maybe it would have been more in line with that. But maybe they're looking for more like a summery watch than like a military watch. But I don't know. I mean, I think it looks good. I wish the logo itself was smaller and not quite as pronounced on the dial.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could see what you're saying.
But you know what's crazy is I've always wanted to own a Type 1. Like a Type 1 mil spec. Ever since I got into watches, I was like, that is what a dive watch is. Like that's the archetypal dive watch. And I just need to at some point just pull the trigger because I've always loved the design. I just think it's so clean. And the fact that all these guys that were UDT underwater divers in the 80s and 70s were being issued this as government equipment, like I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just one of these days I'm just gonna break down and just do it. I need to. I've always loved this design.
All right. On to designs we also love. Baltic put out an extension of the Hermetique collection, the Hermetique colors. If you were waiting to find out which watch might be on our docket this year for Men Wear Pink, you found it. They put out a very cool looking pink dial with a really nice pink tropic. So we will be getting that in at some point for our whatever you want to call it, raffle, giveaway, whatever moniker you want to slap on that. But these things are badass. They're 37 mils, 10.8 thick with crystal, which is insane. 8.3 without, and they're still 150-meter water resistant. I mean, that's just bonkers. They got to be so comfortable to wear. I would, I'm excited to get it in and check it out and test it because to me that's just nuts
Yeah,
because these
it's
aren't
a
crazily priced either.
no.
So that's
But
cool.
it's they're handsome. They're fun, they're sporty. It's and the other thing too is like,
They're
this
like
gives you an
600
option.
bucks.
Yeah, but this gives us an option too for listeners out there that are female. Like, for us, like we've done a lot of the giveaways over the years, and like we've had mostly larger case watches in some cases, like mostly marketed to men, with
Yep.
the exception of maybe like the Nomos. But this kind of is a nice option that both, a female listener, if they want it, they could get it, or a male listener could wear it and they can enjoy it. Or if you're not into the full pink, give it to your wife or your spouse. So this would be kind of a fun watch that I think is cool. I mean, honestly, man, all of the colorways look sick. Like the orange is awesome, the yellow is awesome, the turquoise is like it's kind of my favorite, but given obviously what our association with men wear pink, obviously the pink one makes the most sense. But I think every single one of these Hermetiques looks really nice.
Yeah, and you know what? Like if you're a dude, like you can take this off the tropic and now you just have the inner dial is
Yeah,
pink. So like you could
yeah.
totally dress that a little more masculine if that was your big hang up with it. But either way, I think it'd be an awesome watch. And just it's crazy what they managed to pack in those little things. So I'm definitely hyped to check this thing out.
Right now, their rubber FKM straps are apparently sold out. So there you go.
All right.
People are buying the pinks again. They're getting ready.
Ken, ready. Nice, very nice. Let's see. Doxa put out another Clive Cussler edition in the 750T rendition, which, as you mentioned before the show, is quite a honkin' watch.
Yeah, it's 45 mil.
45. All right. And that's, for that shape of watch, I mean, that's going to wear big.
It does certainly wear big. I mean, this was probably like the Doxa that people remember from like the 2000s. This is modeled after the version that was given to Matthew McConaughey when he played Dirk Pitt in Sahara, based on the Clive Cussler novels and things like that. So cool movie. Like this is what like I remember that movie, and I remember seeing that orange dial watch on his wrist, and I was like, "What is that?" And I had no idea. This was long before I was into watches, and I saw it, and I'm like, "That's pretty freaking cool."
Yeah.
And that's kind of in a weird way would maybe fall in love with Doxa, and I didn't even know it. I was like, I just saw this like orange dial watch in a movie one day, but that movie Sahara is actually really good too. I do enjoy that movie. But regardless, meant to celebrate Clive Cussler 45th, 45 millimeter case. This is a 94 piece numbered edition,
Okay.
limited edition. So there's not going to be too many of these. They come in like a book style watch box with kind of the history of like, Clive Cussler and some of the stories and things like that. But it is a 750T, so it is 750 meters rated, so just over 2,000 feet, almost 2,500 feet. But a very cool watch, very quintessential Doxa. I just think for most modern consumers, it's probably too big for them to wear. I mean, I love Doxa. I have the sub 300. I don't have a T version, but like a sub 300. That's to me one of the best sizes because it just wears so well.
It
Even though
does.
it's 42, it wears much smaller than that. But I think the 45 will probably naturally wear a little bit larger. So just be mindful of that. And if you're interested, go snag it.
All right. Couple more, and then we are all square here. Volcane, we know we talked about them earlier. They have another rendition of their GMT in violet now, which we saw was a little bit of a trend not that long ago, where we were getting a lot of purple, and then it kind of faded out a little bit. But
Mhm.
it's a limited edition of 100 pieces, two strap options, rubber and steel. All the good stuff, sapphire crystal, and I don't know. It's handsome. I like it. I know, like I said, Vulcanes are a little bit expensive, but like looks good at least. I could mess with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I wanted to know what you thought of the new 300 meter with the orange accents. I mean, I
My
like it. It's a little more subdued. It doesn't have the wave dial.
Yeah, yeah. So
The
this
orange isn't over the top.
yeah, so this is my thought based on having time to kind of digest everything and take it in for what it is. I think it's a very cool line extension for the brand. I initially was not really in favor of it because we just came out with the Daniel Craig diver version, the one that was used by him at the Olympics last year. So we had kind of that black dial on mesh bracelet. I felt like it was a little bit too similar to that design. So I was really nervous people were going to be like, "Oh, dude, like not the move. Like this watch is dumb." But I've actually found that most of the comments have been quite opposite of that. I know Britt Pierce launched a video today and she's like, "This is a terrible design." And everyone was roasting her in her comment section. Like, no, this is actually kind of cool. Like we like the diver
What's
orange. Like it's
terrible
cool to
about it?
see that.
There,
I I don't know.
it's a design that's a winning design of a pretty kind of ubiquitous look, except they just accented it with some orange. I mean, yeah, listen,
dude,
for some people, listen, we've seen the whole you just change dial color, call it something else, change a, little something and just call it something else. I mean, the 300 meters nowadays are a little bit more aggressive, with wave patterns and other things like that.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
kind of the flat dial with just a tiny bit of orange, around certain indices and on the second hand and the Seamaster. I think it's a nice touch. I think orange is it just works with divers in general. I mean, both from a sort of functional standpoint, but also just in the color scheme. It doesn't really read like Halloween as much as you'd think it would. Like,
No.
from everybody who's ever owned an orange monster or SKX 011 or whatever it might have been, orange is kind of, we were just talking Doxa. It's kind of like, just like a cult favorite color. I mean, for a reason, but also because it's cool. It's cool in that
Yeah.
configuration. So I don't see how you could say it's bad. I mean, I can see people saying it's kind of just like I could take it or leave it, but I mean, I think it's
And
cool
and and
enough.
and honestly, that was my take. It was like I was like, it's kind of similar to the one that just came out not
Yeah.
that many months ago. Obviously, with the orange inflection, I like it. Someone kind of said it to me. It's like, oh, it's kind of like an Ultraman infused into a diver, which I was like, I kind of like that.
Okay, I could accept
So
that.
for me, I think it's a great look. And I'm a huge dive watch guy. I think it's very sporty. It's funny is I've never owned a 300 meter, like
That is
ever,
interesting.
which is crazy. It's like one of the most
300,
iconic
but not
watches.
300-meter.
Exactly. And I've always loved like every evolution of them. And like now there's so many options. Like I literally don't know like what I would buy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're
But
like me like that. I have certain watches where I'm like, I'm just waiting for the one,
correct.
and I'll snap it up. But also, you get like the analysis paralysis where you're like, I have
Yeah, now there's
every
too many
option under
options.
the
There's too many
sun,
options.
and
Yeah.
now like I can't just choose one.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, this is actually kind of a step in the right direction because it's very punchy. And honestly, like this is the watch I could see myself rocking exclusively on the orange rubber. Because what it reminds me of is like that first generation of Planet Ocean when they came out with like the orange bezel
Yeah, I love that
and the
though.
orange like that to me was just like that early to mid 2000s like experimental punchy design. And the Planet Ocean was cool because that was like an entirely new launch from Omega that they had never had anything that looked like it. So that was kind of a cool thing, and this watch does remind me of that. But most of the comments that I've seen about this particular launch is guys are feeling it. Like guys are looking at it, they're like, this is cool, this is bold. And I thought for sure most people were gonna be like, it's kind of uninspired and boring. I don't think that, but I could see how somebody can make that conclusion. Because, like, let's be honest, it's a dial that's different. You got the markers in orange, you got the Seamaster in orange and the second hand in orange, and then you put it on a different strap, right? So there's like some subtle textural and design differences, but it's the same watch as the one that Daniel Craig wore in the
Right.
Olympics last year, just on a mesh bracelet.
Yeah.
So I thought for a lot of people, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is lazy. This is gonna be uninspired and things like that." But it doesn't seem like that's the feedback at all. And Britt got roasted. I listened to
Well,
her
listen, I
video.
mean, part of being somebody who relies on clicks often comes with having to strike a nerve. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's kind of what it is.
yeah. I mean, it's you got to have a little bit of clickbait,
Well, I mean,
right, to
listen,
get
how
people to
many
get
times
views and stuff.
have you seen, and we'll just leave names out of it or whatever, but you'll see, these people with very long standing YouTube accounts where they just talk into the camera, and they'll come out with a video one week and then they'll come out with a completely contradictory video to that the following week.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
We saw it with Moonswatch. We saw it was, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is a piece of crap. Oh, actually, you know what? This could fit a niche that I've been looking for. Oh, actually, it's just plastic garbage. Well, you know what? Like, dude,
Yeah.
pick a goddamn lane. All right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Stand on
listen, I'm
business.
all
Like if
for
you're gonna
like,
if you're gonna say it, stand on business. You know what I
right.
mean?
Like, listen, I'll joke about that type of stuff, but like, that doesn't mean I feel that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you can make a joke about something and not believe it, but also like people will find it funny. So like it's entertainment value. Whereas if you are somebody who's trying to put content, information, a stance out into the ethos, like you're gonna have to at least have some legs to stand
right,
on there. You know
right.
what I mean? Just my two
Yeah, for
cents.
sure. No, no, I agree. I agree. And for me, like this watch is growing on me more than I thought it was going to. My only, personal gripe is I kind of wish the bezel was orange because then I think that would have just been like
I can see
boom,
that.
just been
Yeah.
like super punchy. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks cool, man. It's sporty, it's fun. It's kind of like mini Ploprof vibes to me. Like it's
You're right. I think that's kind of what I think that probably plays favorably because people, I think for a lot of people, they don't know why they like it, but they're like, something about this is
yeah,
familiar, but also this is not anything
different,
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm here for it. I mean, again, you know, guys, I'm biased, so it is what it is. But I think it's a handsome looking watch. I like the fact that it's a smooth dial. There's no waves. It's kind of more clean.
And on the rubber, it looks
Um,
great.
Dude, I think it looks fantastic on the rubber. And this is already a deployant. So for guys that were kind of criticizing some of the older strap releases, they only came on Tang Buckle before. These newer versions, like the black one, the kind of Silver Surfer, which is what people are calling it, like the fully monochromatic one, all of these are coming on deployant. So maybe that's the next evolution for the rubber strap design. Price point's a little bit more, but you're getting better kind of stuff with it, which is very cool. So I like it. But now I just like, what do we do? Like, which 300-meter do I get? I'm like waffling. Like sometimes I'm like on eBay. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy like a mid 2000s diver and just call it a day. Like
Yeah,
never,
I mean,
never look
listen,
back.
you could always just buy the Brosnan and call it a day
Just gonna
too.
buy a Brosnan. It's like I just picture myself like buying a Brosnan and like buying a sailboat and just like sailing off in the world, like never coming
So I
back.
mean, just call it a day. Sail off into the sunset.
Like I could see that. The masculine urge to just like hop on a boat and never come back to shore. But I'm just
Smoking a pipe
Oh, dude, absolutely. With the little tiny white and black sailor hat, dude, like sign me
in
up
a
for that life.
fisherman's
Oh
sweater.
my God, yes. Like, let's go. Like I would, and just a nice Seamaster, like a well-seasoned, saltwatery grit
Uh,
Seamaster, just to conquer the world.
that's some funny
Um,
shit.
yeah, but I could totally see myself rocking this watch. It's very sporty. It's very fun. Oh, this is the constant problem of having too many options. It's like my wait list is getting or my internal list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every time I turn around.
Hey, there's worse problem.
There is. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, gosh dang, like, gotta be strategic about these watch purchases now because
That is the bigger challenge.
like I was telling you offline, it's like I'm not even really buying stuff for myself anymore. I'm kind of like strategically buying stuff for my kids. Like I'm buying like what I think would be cool and collectible and kind of interesting for them to get 20 years from now,
Yeah,
15 years from now. You know what you know what I mean? Like it's like I like stuff, but I'm like, it's like I'd wear it, but I want something that they're gonna be like, dude, dad's kind of like dad bought this watch. Like, yeah, I can't wait today. I give my kids my red dial Seamaster, and they're gonna be like, oh dang, dad bought a red watch. Like, how
yeah.
crazy is that? That's wild work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Like, dad was cool rocking a red watch. Yeah. So there you go. That's me. But
That's funny shit. Yeah. All right, though. That's good. Yeah, I think that's all we got on the docket. But aside from that, anything else going on?
that's it, man. That's it. Excited to hear kind of what the rollout's going to be for Men Wear Pink as we get closer to that. Excited to see what's going to be coming down the pipe towards the end of the year. I mean, especially now that more brands are switching kind of to like these little spurt releases
Yeah, I've seen that.
throughout the year, which is great instead of focusing so heavily on everything coming out at the beginning of the year. Omega kind of being one of the bigger ones for that too. But I think I'm excited to see what's going to carry us to the end of the year. So hopefully we get some big announcements and some big news from somebody. I think we could all use another big splash of something.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
cool. Be cool for sure.
So we'll see.
All right, my friend. Until then, you take care, folks out there. See you next time.